Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Looks like we got quite a stormy day here in Hanoi. It's currently about 4 o'clock in the morning. We've got the first flight out of here and we're going to be heading up to Bangkok. As you can kind of see that we've got a little bit of light happening. We got this cloud cover rolling through as well. I think that's more Hanoi, the town, but it's the first flight out, and we'll be heading down to Bangkok. So it's about an hour and a half flight time. As always, entertainment is laid on. So let's hop on board the aircraft, and we'll get her set up and ready to go. So I'll turn the flashlight off. There we go. So we're on board. First flight out, we'll get her ready. So the parking brake is on. Flaps are up, spoilers are retracted and disarmed, weather radar is off, predictive wind shear is off. Engine masters 1 and 2 are in idle. The engine masters are in cutoff, throttles are in idle. Ignition mode selector is in normal, and the gear is down. We got a lot of thunder and lightning, but no rain, so we're doing good there. So let's get the batteries up and going. Batteries 1 and 2, external power is connected. Brake pressure is good. The airplane's been sitting here overnight. We'll come up once we get everything up and running. We'll get the panel lights up and the display lights. So the latest update of the development version seems to be showing TCAS working. I know it's working on AI traffic and real-time traffic in the sim. I don't know yet if it's working on VATSim. Not sure, we'll find out. It's not busy in this area. We are up on VATSim. There's no controllers on at the moment, however. Alright, so Apu Fire Test. Apu Fire Test is good. Crew oxygen supply will come on. Get the gears up and running. External lights, we have the nav and logo lights on. Seatbelt signs are on. No portable devices, and the emergency exit lights are armed. So, flight crew, you can begin boarding. Here they come. And we should have catering and bags as well at the moment. Yep, they're both going. Alright, so the probe and window heats are on auto. APU is off. Temperature will dial down slightly just because of where we are in the world. It's going to be hot and humid. And obviously it's humid if we got storms like this going on outside. Fuel pumps are off. Engine fire test. Test number 1. Test number 2. Come down, put the flight directors on. And the baro. So we'll set the initial baro. 1009 is what is showing. Real world. So we'll dial that in. Also tune in that and 1009. The FCU we'll get to in a minute, and radio 122.8. Let's see how long this manages to stay here without changing on us, as it tends to do. 122.8. Alright, over to the fly pad. We'll grab our login sim brief ID number. See that weather kicking around here. There we go. Now, dispatch, fuel. I'll pop this out so that we can enter in our fuel amount for today without it doing weird things, which it has a tendency to do right now. So our fuel is going to be 5458. And we'll set it for real time, and away she goes. So over to the MCDU. We'll bring in our flight plan as per normal. And the Tropo 56783, that's pretty close. 738. Not allowed. Oh, forgot a number. 56738. Alright. And our flight plan is set. We'll go into the MCDU. We're going to do the weather request just to see if we can get an accurate weather in the sim. And we'll go back out and we'll go to our performance. Fuel is going to match. Yep, that is fine. Extra 200 for taxi. We'll go to our payload. 15796 is good. 149 passengers today. And zero fuel weight of 56.8. So we'll load the payload. And we'll carry on entering in our information. So 56.8 and 0.0. That's better. And our block fuel will be 5.4. And our trip wind today is supposed to be a tailwind of 5 knots.
On behalf of the cabin crew, I'd like to welcome
so
you
we should have a fuel of 5 tons when we get to our destination.
Carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. If you have trouble finding a location for any of your carry-on items, please use the flight attendant call button over your seat. Somebody
so for our flight plan, we'll be leaving Hanoi on runway 29 left.
And it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers. Also be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card provided for you.
We'll
please
insert
make
that.
sure that you are able and willing to perform these actions.
And
If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can.
And our arrival
now's the time to get out any last
is
minute
going to be
text messages
on
if you
the
need to, but we ask that once you
ILS
depart from the gate, you put away any laptops
Zulu
or tablets.
for 19er left.
And welcome aboard.
19er left, Zulu. And we're going in on the Norta 3 Charlie. And are we doing Limos? Let's take a look. Yes, we will go via Limos, that is fine. I think Nobar is our transition. Yes. And Nobar is our transition, so we'll enter that. Though it took it out for some reason. Let's try this again. Arrival. Doesn't like that other one. 19 left, Zulu. 3 Charlie. Limos. No. So where is the other one it wants to put us in on? Albos. Yeah, we can see what happens. So let's go here. 19 left, Zulu. Alright, that's fine. Limos is fine. No. Sending us in there anyway, so. That's fine. We may be able to take that out. If I look at the approach, see what it's giving us in the flight plan. Norbert, Albos, and then Nordet. So if I just let me clear Albos out. Albos, Norda, and then B. No, that's not what I want.
We're ready to go when you are.
If I do Norda, does it take out Nober, Norda? That's what I want. Okay, so that's now properly dialed in. So that's our flight plan in. Sounds like everybody's on board in the back. So our transition altitude as we leave here, this is in metric. So it's 9,030 feet is the conversion. Flaps 1 and 30 point, not 30.0, it's going to be 0.3 down on the trim. No flex, 129, 130, and 134 on our V speeds. Alright, so the MCU data is in. The MCU has checked RadNav. Not really needing anything for that at the moment. So we're good there. IFR clearance will take as given. IRS align is done. Flight plan is done. Nav 8. It's fine. You're going to go over to 40. And we're going to flight level 380 for today's flight. So there's no restrictions on the way out. So we'll just dial in 380. And we're good there. And takeoff briefing, basically going to take off, and then we're on the departure, which is basically going to take us southwest straight out. Transponder squawk 7000 is set. So we'll start the APU. There she goes. And we'll let ground know that we're just about ready to go.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, fly deck.
We will be ready shortly.
Okay, I will hold.
As soon as the APU is up, we can get going. So APU is on. APU is started. The MCDU weights are entered in. Fueling is completed. We'll go back over to our dashboard. So fueling is completed. MCDU performance is done for departure. 129 and 134 are V1 and V2. They're entered in and ready to go. And here we go. APU is available. APU bleeds on. APU generator is on. Air conditioning is now up and running. External power is disconnected. And we're ready for push and start. So all windows are locked. All doors are locked.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 55.
Cockpit door is now secured.
With service to Bangkok. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Fuel pumps
now
are
that
on.
the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all
Beacon lights
devices
are
are in
on.
airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt
Steering
and make
pin
sure
will
that
go
all
in when
tray
they get
tables
ready to
and
push.
seat backs are in a full upright and locked
Transponder
position
is
for departure.
now
Flight
on
attendants,
standby.
please prepare cabin for departure and cross-check.
Our on. Transponder's on. TCAS is on standby, and we are ready for push.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, fly deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brake, please.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back.
So we're going to be pushing tail to our left, as we're going to be heading out towards the taxiway there. It is rather dark. We'll let them do their thing. As soon as we're clear of all the ground equipment, we'll be able to start the engines. So it should be a nice morning arrival into Bangkok today. Whoa, it's some Again, there's no rain. It seems to be a very intense lightning storm happening out here. Fuel pumps are good. APU is on.
Ladies and
You are
gentlemen,
clear
please
behind
direct
and you can start your
in front of
engine
the
at your
aircraft for
discretion.
safety demonstration. When the
Starting
seatbelt light
engine
is
number
on,
1.
please make sure that your seatbelt is
Clear the catering truck. Alright, we'll get her kicked over. Kind of see the line here now. Ooh, that's very nice. Came out very well. Alright, straighten her up. And that's good enough. Come to a halt.
Pushback complete. Set parking brake, please.
Braking brakes are
Parking
now
brakes
set.
set.
Roger.
If you're traveling
Okay,
in
the
a
tow
crowd
bar
with
is
someone who
disconnected
requires
and the
assistance,
equipment is
keep
clear.
your
We
mask
will
on
see you
first
on the
and
left
then
side with the
covered.
pin.
Keep your mask
Thanks,
on
and you can
until a member
disconnect
of
and
the
go to
crew
hand
advises
signals.
you it's
Thanks,
safe
have a
to
good
proceed.
flight. See you later.
In the
Clock
unlikely
going.
event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your
So
seat or
engine 1
between
is
the
coming up.
armrests. When instructed to do so,
There we go.
open the
Engine
plastic
1 is
pouch and
available.
remove the
Starting
vest.
engine number 2.
Push it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front.
We'll
Hold the
give that a
straps
listen
tight.
from the passenger
To inflate the
perspective.
vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If it doesn't inflate automatically, you may blow into the mouthpiece for manual inflation. This vest is equipped with a whistle and a light. If you need to, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Please make sure to exit the aircraft as soon as
I don't
possible.
think lightning
using
strikes are
the warning.
modeled in the
Once
sim
again,
yet.
all devices must be in airplane mode and your larger devices must be turned off and stowed at this time. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the
There
smoke
she
detectors
goes.
located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. All of this information
Alright, we're
read it
looking
and let a
good.
cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Briefings are done. We'll turn that on now. And we'll be set to go. Circuit breakers kicking over. Generators are coming online and engine 2 is available. APU bleeds off. APU master is off and ignition back to normal. Alright, so now we'll do our before taxi checklist. Get ourselves ready to go. So auto brake is on, spoilers are armed, flaps are coming back to takeoff, flaps 1, anti-ice not required, flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right on the rudders, and neutral. We'll also trim to 0.3 down. There we go. And rudder trim is indicating 0 and showing 0. And steering pin has been removed. So we're ready to taxi. We'll turn off on our runway turn-off lights, our taxi lights, and our wing lights, just to make sure we're nice and visible. I'm going to kill the dome light, since we've done everything we need to do in here at the moment. And release the parking brake, and we're going to head out to the taxiway. Power here. There we go. And there's nobody around on VATSim. And I'll give them a call out when I'm ready to depart the
Please note
airfield.
the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above you.
So once we're onto the main taxiway heading down, I will there it is. Nicely timed lightning there. Here we go. This is the one we want. It's going to take us down to 29er left. so we'll do the TO config check. Everything is good. We'll notify the cabin.
Cabin proceeds for takeoff, please.
There we go. Now, one thing I'm going to quickly do as we roll down here. Just check that weather that came in. Make sure we're set 1009. 1009. Okay. So that was all reading correct. We have the proper barometer setting. Should be good to go. So again, very interesting weather patterns here. Some pretty good clouds. They don't look too thick though, but a lot of thunder and lightning cracking away out here. But, you know, we're coming into summertime here in the tropics in the Southeast Asia, so I'm sure it's a very stormy period. Anyway, we're going to be turning up here. Get ready to take the runway. It's 12,500 feet, so we don't need to go all the way to the very end. We've got plenty of room here. Oh, starting to see a little bit of rain coming down. Oh, there's definitely some rain off in the distance. I don't know if you saw that there on that flash, but some heavy downpour. Alright, so parking brakes are on. Cabin crew is notified. External lights, landing lights all coming on. Strobe lights on. Nose wheel to takeoff. Anti-ice not required. Packs will stay on. TCAS is TARA and above. Weather radar is on. PWS is on. Weather plus turbulence mode is set. And we are all set. He's set to 40. I'm set to 10. And takeoff memo, no blue. Alright, so brakes are off. We'll roll out now. Take position out here on the runway. Sure, we're going to hit some rain as we pull up, climb out. There we go. All those green lines they give us there. Straight one among them. All right. So brakes are now set. Throttles to 50%. Engines at 50% and stabilized. Brakes are released. Power coming up. Takeoff power. So Mantoga SRS. It's 100 knots. V1 rotate. Quick on the rotation. Positive rate, gear up. Speed brakes disarmed. Yeah, look at that red starting to appear in the weather radar as we climb into it. Throttle's back to climb. Throw the autopilot on. And our taxi lights, wing lights can come off. And we're going to start heading out on our route. Basically, it's a straight line southwest as we depart Hanoi. And I didn't call on Unicom. It's okay. There's nobody else in Vietnam right now that I can see on VATSim. Transition altitude out of here was 9,003 feet. We're going to go through that. We're cleared higher. Just going to go over to standard now. Oh, looks like we're over the clouds for the most part. Very nice. And flaps coming up. Accelerate to 250 knots. ,800 feet. Everything's looking good. It's getting a little bit darker longer as we head westward, away from the rising sun. And soon we'll be starting to curve back around.
Now past 2,000 feet. Turn on larger portable electronic devices.
It's
This is
10,000
also a
feet.
reminder to please keep your
Landing
seatbelt
lights
fastened
are off.
throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi.
Who is that?
You will be required to pay a small fee if you wish to access it. We do offer complimentary in-flight
Hans Brenda?
solutions to
Oh,
our
thank you very much
partners.
for the sub.
Connect to the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to access our wide range of free live TV and
yeah.
movie libraries.
Seatbelts are now off.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you
And we're going to be
seatbelt
climbing out
fasten
now.
in case of unexpected turbulence.
Like I said, we got about an hour and a half flight time. Once we pass
Ladies and gentlemen,
20,000.
the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
They're going to give me the next one. That I've turned them off again. Maybe not. A little bit too quick on the mouse there. Double clicked it by accident. Alright, so there's that lightning happening below us. But it's nice we're out in the better weather now. Let's see those stars above. If we look back towards the east, sunrise starting to show itself. So we should see that as we're in flight. For now, we're just going to climb out, get ourselves settled in. So as the flight crew comes around to get you all comfortable as we are now above the weather, I will I'm going to leave you with this view. Let's get the map up so you can see where we are. There we go. Make sure we're tracking that. And we'll get the entertainment lined up. so I'll catch up with you as we are getting ready to descend into Bangkok. Catch up in a bit. I'll be in the chat.
Somewhere in the skies above us have come from time to time flaming discs and weird aerial phenomena. What of? Whence have they come? Dr. Morrissey, one of the leading aerodynamicists in the world, stated that in his opinion, they have originated elsewhere than the Earth, and that they are artificially controlled. Yes, they could be craft from another planet, or a development of enemy power. But whatever they are, they continue to cause a great deal of concern and controversy. And when we are tempted to say that they are just a fiction writer's dream, we must remember that Jules Verne once dreamed of exploring the ocean depths. And in time, we had the submarine. Leonardo da Vinci also prophesied that someday man would fly like a bird. Today, flying is commonplace. Even the atom bomb thrilled readers of fiction magazines before it became a reality. In fact, the author was so realistic in his description of a terrifying destructive force that he was investigated by the FBI, who thought he had gotten secret information from government laboratories. Now man dreams of limitless power to propel us into outer space, where we can explore other worlds. While travel to another planet may seem highly imaginative to us today, in the year 2000, it may be commonplace. Here, for example, is a story of travel in the sky, visits to worlds in outer space, which may well be the blueprint of life to be lived in the years to come. Lost altitude and crashes in the mountains of the polar region. Centuries later, men from a scouting ship discover the wreck.
They're in a perfect state of preservation. Must have been frozen since the ship crashed. Natural temperature. Let's get them out of here. This gas is making me drowsy. Well, take hold of the speed.
Look how fast we're going.
About 1,000 miles an hour at least. Polar Patrol, calling Operations Office. Polar Patrol, calling Operations Office. Operations Office. Go ahead, Polar Patrol. Golly, they sure got in quick. Put this call through to Scientist General Muir. It is urgent. One moment. Go ahead. Captain Rankin speaking. We're approaching the city with 2 prisoners found in a dirigible.
A dirigible? That's impossible. Such ships haven't been used since the 20th century.
Century? What does he mean?
I don't know. The ship was frozen on the tip of Bering Glacier. Prisoners were in a state of suspended animation when we found them.
Bring them directly to me when you land. That is all. that dirigible?
I was in command. We'd taken off from New York and were making a transpolar flight around the world when...
But what year was that?
1938.
1938? Impossible. Let me verify that. There was such an expedition. Your name, please?
Buck Rogers. Lieutenant Rogers officially.
And yours, my boy?
My name is George Wade, but I'm usually called Buddy.
Dubano gas. That explains it then. Rankin, we are witnesses to a scientific miracle. By means of a gas discovered by Professor Morgan, these two people have remained in a state of suspended animation for 500 years.
500 years?
That makes me old enough to be my own great-grandfather.
But, Professor Ure, that's impossible, sir.
Dr. Ure, Killer Kane has captured another of our pilots.
Considerable discomfort by telling me where to find the entrance to the hidden city.
I do not remember.
I think I know a way to make you remember. Look into that instrument. Look into it. Those men were once pilots of Dr. Hure's ships. Now they are living robots. Men robbed of all willpower while they wear the helmets I had designed for them. Shall I have you measured for a robot's helmet? Or will you tell me where the entrance to the hidden city is?
I do not remember.
Take him away.
I don't understand, sir. Who is this man called Killer Kane?
He is the result of the stupidity of the men of your century. You failed to stamp out lawlessness, and in the end, the criminal became stronger than the law. Racketeers, you call them. Today they rule the world as cruelly as they ruled their gangs in your day.
But isn't there any chance of help from an outside source?
Only from men on some other planet.
Another planet? That doesn't sound very hopeful.
It could be, but our spaceships seem unable to slip through Kane's air blockade. We've lost 5 thus far trying it.
You mean you actually have ships that can travel from planet to planet?
Of course.
If you have ships that can travel that far, you know, I think I know a way of running that blockade.
Well, if you have any plans, I'll read to listen to them. But to me it seems much hopeless.
Am I right, Marshal Craig? In assuming that you can operate a plane from the ground, at such a distance, mind you, by means of radio?
That's correct, Rogers.
Well then, sir, why don't you send up such a ship as a decoy? While Kane's patrol is following it, I can slip through in a spaceship and get help from Saturn.
We've already lost too many ships and crews. We can't afford to try it.
It seems to me you can't afford not to try it, sir.
Rogers is right, Marshal. Unless we get help from Saturn, our cause is lost. Very well, sir. You're in charge.
Thank you very much.
Lieutenant Deering, you will go with Rogers to establish a means of communication with Saturn, if you do get through to that planet. wall.
That's the outer atmosphere center, buddy. It's 10 times denser than the air around the Earth. I don't know.
Two of Killer Kane's ships coming up fast behind us.
Hard your speed to 1/2. If we do, they'll get away from us. Don't worry about that. They'll either have to slow down or go up in smoke.
We have that atmosphere at this rate of speed, the pressure will bring us to a cliff. Look, they smashed rockets. I can't turn them. Not beyond the relief valves in the oxygen tanks. They explode opening torn to atoms.
Buddy, take the controls.
The portholes are giving way, buddy.
That's no use. The key is mounted the valve in. Screw, buddy.
Anti-gravity belts. I'll have to bail out.
Buddy, open the airlock. No use, Ricky. Jam the door. Stand back, woman. Right, down you go. Get to the outside door.
Honey, you take the radio.
Go on.
Hi, what a desolate looking place.
Stand by the refining rockets. Signal the other ship when we're going down. Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Deering calling the Scientist General of Earth. Lieutenant Deering calling the Scientist General of Earth.
Air Control Headquarters in A. Go ahead, Lieutenant Deering.
Give me the Scientist General at once, please.
Wilma, this is Dr. Hewer. Are you safe?
Our outer atmosphere patrol reported 2 of Killer Kane's spaceships took off after you.
They did. Shot down our ship, but we got away with anti-gravity belts.
If all of Saturn is like this, you can have it. Right. Rex over that way. Tell the men on the other ship to stand guard.
Look, I just saw one of Killer Kane's men go behind those rocks.
Are you sure?
Positive. They must have landed their ship and are following to capture us.
Maybe we can beat them at their own game. Follow me. Don't let them guess we know they're trailing us.
Stop where you are. Hand me that gun. Give it to me.
There's nothing else you can do.
All right. Let's get them back to the spaceship. Pat, check the rockets on the other ship.
Do not move, any of you. Drop your weapons.
You are from the Earth, are you not?
Yes, we came here to make a treaty.
It would be useless to explain to me. I am only a soldier acting under order. 2 of you stay and guard the ship. The other two bring the others after me.
In-flight meal service. Please look in the back menu, and one of our crew members will stop by shortly for your order. If you would like to order additional menu items, please hit the flight attendant call button at any time, and we'll be over shortly.
We came here as envoys, seeking an alliance with you people of Saturn.
And why do you desire such an alliance?
Which gave the tyranny of a man called Killer Kane, who imposed his rule on all but a handful of us. A man who governs by brute force.
That's not true. Leader Kane is a just man. He rules with the consent of all save a few revolutionaries. Is it true that you are revolutionary?
In a sense, I suppose we are. If it's revolutionary to protest against brutality.
I have had enough. Rebels or not, I see through them all into prison. Saturn wants no contact with outside planets.
In this age of science, we cannot hope to isolate ourselves from the rest of the universe. But we are dedicated to peace and have no patience with rebels.
Then why not form an alliance with Argo? Help us stamp out this rebellion.
The point is well made. We'll imprison the revolutionaries and treat with the envoys of the leader Kane.
And I jumped in. That's right.
He can't escape the guards.
I'll have to try.
Throw the others in prison.
One wrong move from any of you. You'll need a new council of the wise.
Seize him!
Spaceships are over there.
What about those awful Zug guards?
Take care of him with this gun.
Take the controls, Park. I'll find the starting rocket.
Right. Drop down to nobody. See if all the portholes are closed.
Might be better to get back to Earth.
That's right where you're going, buddy.
Wilmer Rogers must prevail on the Saturnians to lend them a spaceship to return to Earth. That's no Saturnian craft, Doctor. It's one of Killer Kane's spaceships. Possible. I know that type of ship too well to be mistaken. Have you tried to contact them on our wavelength? As a matter of fact, I have. We must do so at once. There's a spaceship at 274.6. Contact at once on our wavelength. Yes, sir.
Air Marshal calling spaceship on 274.6. Gosh, Buck, I guess we'll be landing pretty soon, won't we?
That's right. Radio was working so we can contact Dr. Yoke.
That isn't necessary. I know the secret entrance to the hidden city. We better start using our retarding pressure.
Air Marshal calling spaceship on 274.6. I'm sorry, sir, there's no contact.
That proves it, Doctor. It is a Kane ship.
But I can't understand.
There's only one answer, Doctor. Wilmer Rogers must have betrayed a secret entrance to the city.
There's the signal to open the gates. What shall I do, sir?
Open them and stand by to close them at my command.
Yes, sir.
They got a signal.
They're in the lock now, sir.
Marshal ordered me to arrest anyone who escaped from the wrecked ship, sir. You mean you were in that spaceship?
Yes, sir.
But it's one of Killer Kane's spaceships. That's why I ordered to destroy it.
The only way we could escape from Saturn, sir, if the men of that planet turned against us.
We'd better discuss this in my office. Report back to the officer of the day, Lieutenant. Now.
It also is true, sir. It is the duty of every honest government to aid in the suppression of anarchy wherever found. To that end, we have signed this promise of support. Prince Talon, you will visit the Earth with Captain Lasker. Verify his story. If it is true, you will present this treaty to the leader Kane for his signature. Saturn will abide by your decision.
Ready now, and I suggest we start at once. I thank you in our leader's name for your faithfulness, for your promised help. This is Prince Talon, Lieutenant Patrick. We're leaving for Earth immediately. Did everything work out as you hoped? I think our troubles with Dr. Xu are about over. Identified the ship you're in?
Beyond question, it is a Killer Kane ship. May I look, sir?
Oh, of course.
It's a sister ship to the one we came back from Saturn.
And that means that Killer Kane's men have probably completed their mission on Saturn.
If we only knew if they made the alliance with the Saturnians. But haven't we got any spies working with the Killer Kane people?
Well, we've tried it. Every one of them has been captured and put into Kane's robot battalion.
So what was done with this stuff taken from the wrecked spaceship?
Dr. Huer has the instruments. The rest of the equipment was put in military storage.
And you still have the uniforms taken from the crew's quarters?
Are you suggesting that we use those uniforms to get a spy into Killer Kane's camp?
Yes, sir. I'd like to volunteer for the detail.
Oh, you'd only be captured and spend the rest of your days in Kane's robot battalion. I'm afraid that you're of more value to us in the air, Roger.
But Marshal Craig, if I can get the information concerning the Saturnian treaty, sir, may mean the success of our campaign.
He's right, Huer. You haven't a chance in 1,000. But if you're willing to risk it, I can't afford to refuse the offer.
Thank you very much, sir. Which one of those buildings is Killer Kane's?
That big one, the terraces. I'll circle it in a minute.
But you can grab your notes. Prepare to bail out. Right out. So long, Wing.
Good luck, Lieutenant.
I sent for you because my patience is about at an end. You have all read the treaty which our good friend Prince Talon has brought from our sister planet Saturn. It pleases me.
Buddy, get a gravity belt from the rig we just passed.
Are there any objections from the councils? Then I submit it to you for your signatures.
No one will sign that treaty, Kane. I'll take it.
Guards! How did you get in here?
We were here when you and Prince Talon entered the room.
It's Buck Rogers. Who is Buck Rogers? He's the hidden city American who came to Saturn.
Talon, you're not going to sign this treaty until I've had a chance to show you just why this man is called Killer Kane.
Don't be a fool, Rogers. If you persist in this folly, my men will kill you.
Not until I've shown Prince Talon just what you do with your prisoners, Kane. Get to the telephone. Go on, move. Prince Talon, you go with me. dynamo room, Kane. See for yourself, Princeton. Those steel caps they're wearing are Nvidia helmets, an invention of Kane's scientists, who robbed men of their minds and their will. This is incredible. Nevertheless, telling us the truth. Now do you know why we are fighting this man?
Who is your leader? I shall be glad to treat with him. That's a very handsome gesture, Prince Talon. But how do you and Rogers plan to leave my city? You will be arrested by my guards before you can leave the palace.
I'll take care of that, King. Buddy, toss me that gravity belt.
The gravity belt? I don't understand.
It's a device we use here on Earth. It's really an outgrowth of the old parachute. Put it on, Talon.
Oh, I see.
Buddy. Out the window you go, you two.
Well, how about you, Bud?
Never mind about me. Come on, over here, quick. Get the car, you fools! If they get away, I'll put every man of you in the robot battalion!
They're on the terrace.
If necessary, bring in some of the ships from the Outer Atmosphere Patrol and assign them to cover Kane City. Rogers will be given all possible help. Nothing new from Rogers. I'm sorry, Doctor, not a word. It looks bad.
Marshal Craig, we can't just stand here and do nothing. Maybe if we could...
Lieutenant Deering, you forget where you are. Now, it's possible that Rogers has escaped. He may be somewhere in the open country between here and Kane City. I suggest we send out a scout patrol and look for him. Do so at once, Craig. Lieutenant Deering,
Yes, sir?
you're a member of the 7th Pursuit, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Order out the squadron. Cover all of the open country between here and Kane City. Flying at a low altitude. I'll have your complete flying orders sent to the airport. That is all.
Yes, sir.
You'll find Buck Rogers if anybody can.
Call off the guard. They're getting away.
Let's stop the pressure. Talon, drop down those doors. We made it.
Captain Roberts speaking. Let me speak to the leader.
Calling the leader. Calling the leader. Calling the leader. This is the leader. What have you to report?
The fugitives have escaped in your patrol ship, sir.
Escaped? In my ship? You blockheads! We'll send every one of you to the robot battalion. Report to the guard captain under arrest.
Yes, sir.
The leader's airport. The spies have escaped in my private patrol ship. Send the squadron after them and shoot them down. Warn all outposts. If they break through to the open country, we'll never get them. And you are the men I made counselors of Earth. I would be better served by this Buck Rogers, who walked through your men as if they were children.
I noticed you didn't capture Rogers when he was in this very room.
Franco, I warn you. Another statement like that and you will go before the firing squad.
And so will all of you if you fail me again. Now get out!
about 600 miles.
Wouldn't call old Dr. Hugh exactly handsome. You sure would give a lot to see his face right now.
I bet you would, buddy. Talon, I should have returned this treaty to you after I took it from Killer Kane.
I'd forgotten about it in the excitement. Someday you must return to the planet Saturn, where it's being received to thank some people for preventing the alliance with Kane.
I'd rather you thank me by giving us your planet's support and smashing Killer Kane's armies.
Hey, Buck, here comes a whole squadron at us.
Is it a Kane squadron?
No, it's one of our own from the Hidden City. Calling Lieutenant Deering.
This is Lieutenant Deering. Go ahead, please.
It's a Killer Kane ship approaching to leave us about 6,000. Pull out a formation to bring it down before they can communicate with headquarters.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Buck, one of them's diving at us.
I can. Yes, I can. This is Killer Kane's ship. They think we're an enemy.
Just below it. Fire a blast into the tail surface by level out.
They're going to shoot us down. The only thing we can do is set down and let them see who we are.
Going down. First time I ever saw Killer Kane's ship give up so easily.
Rogers and Betty. We thought you were an enemy ship. I'm so glad that was not a direct hit.
That makes it unanimous, woman.
Who is this? One of Killer Kane's men?
I know. The best friend we have, right? It's Prince Talon, envoy from the planet Saturn. Going to help us in our fight against Killer Kane.
Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. I didn't understand.
Well, that's an old custom we have here. It's a sign of friendship, like this, Talon. That's right. Wilma, report back to your squadron. Advise your commander what happened. Tell him we'll follow you back to the Hidden City and gain ship.
Oh, I think I will.
Good. Most buddy, he's been taken care of, sir. Dr. Hugh, this is Prince Talon, envoy from the planet Saturn. Dr. Hugh is our scientist general. And Air Marshal Craig, our operations chief.
Prince Talon. Prince Talon, you bring new hope to a beleaguered race. If it had not been for Colonel Rogers, I think your enemy would have tricked me into fighting him instead of helping. I am authorized to sign this treaty, pledging our support to your cause.
It will be more honest to live see our people and decide whether we are worthy of your help. Lieutenant Deering, we're well to contact the planet Saturn.
Yes, sir.
Advise them that we have signed a treaty with Prince Talon, that they are involved with Killer Kane.
Saturn. The Earth calling planet Saturn.
I assure the leader that the Hidden City squadron was upon us before we could bomb Rogers and Talon again.
So you allowed Rogers to escape with Talon to the Hidden City?
We could not help ourselves. You see, we were stars.
If Talon pledges the aid of Saturn to Dr. Hugh, they will drive us from the face of the earth.
We brought it on ourselves. You should have taken my advice. Quit when we had enough.
Since you are so clever, you shall take a spaceship to Saturn and arrange a treaty with her people before Talon has time to report back.
I refuse. I will not be a tool for your insane ambitions.
I am in command here, Crinkle. Take him away to the Roman battalion where he can forget his grievances.
You can't send me there, Kane. You can't. I'll hand your commission to Saturn. I'll hand your commission to Saturn. But don't send me to Roman Kane. No!
Tell Kane that I'll escape. I'll live to see the day. One more dead man in the ranks of the leader's enemies. I trust no others share the feelings of the late Councillor Crinkle. Being a kindly ruler, I shall give you a chance to redeem yourself. Thank you, sir. Fly a spaceship to Saturn and arrange the treaty that Krenko refused to try. If you succeed, there is an empty chair at my council table.
The Earth calling to planet Saturn.
I'm afraid it's useless, Doctor. Apparently our receiving sets are not in tune with your projectors. That event you'll have to return to Saturn by spaceship. I doubt whether such a trip is possible.
Air controls.
What reports from our outer atmosphere observatory?
Report just received, sir. Killer Kane has doubled all air patrols in that stratum.
The spaceship wouldn't have a chance. I am not quite so sure about that, Crag. Not sure? You know what's happened to all our ships that try to break through. Yes, but I've been working on a little experiment may help us. What kind of an experiment? Well, I didn't mean to show it till I had perfected it, but even as it is, it may serve our purpose. Just step over to this window. Now watch the ship views. Stand well back. I don't want to experiment on you. Do you know anything about this?
I knew he was working on something, but he wouldn't say what it was.
Now keep an eye on that ship. I don't see anything strange about it. What's it supposed to do, Doctor? Blow up or something?
Why, it's disappearing in the thin air.
Oh, don't get in the way. Might do the same thing to you. Wouldn't harm you very much, but it may take some time to bring you back to visibility. But I don't see how that'll help, sir. If you've destroyed the ship, but I haven't. The ship is still there, but you can't see it. I have discovered a ray which reduces all opaque matter to transparency, perfect as the ether itself. Unfortunately, I can hold it only for a matter of a few minutes. 10 at most.
And the ray won't harm anybody inside the ship?
Not at all.
Well, then the problem's solved.
And the sooner we start, the better.
Yes.
They'll need a navigator, Seth.
Yes, so they will. You will report to the air control room and make ready for immediate flight.
Yes.
If I have to take you with me, we better get to the control room. Doctor? Have the rockets loaded into a spaceship for immediate takeoff.
Yes, sir. Rocket laboratory. This is the air control office. Have spaceship LC-9 loaded immediately for takeoff. These are retarding rockets. Make sure you put them in the lower racks with the firing end forward.
You'll be pretty much on your own when you reach Saturn.
Better fire another rocket, Bowman.
I hope we get through Kane's blockade.
All depends on Dr. Hewitt. I'll radio him as soon as we spot any of the Kane ships.
Buck, there they are, right above us.
Dr. York. Dr. York. Buck Rogers calling.
This is Dr. York.
Go ahead, Buck. We spotted the Kane ship, sir. They're directly above us.
Let us start your disarmal ray. I turn it on immediately, Buck.
They hit the city ship rising, sir. Trying to run our blockade.
Head straight for it. Man the ray guns. Hold your fire until I give the order.
put the movie on hold, or stop it anyway. It's time to start planning our descent. We're getting fairly close. So we'll take a look at our approach at our first altitude restriction, which is NORDA. We got to be at 18,000 feet. So I'm just going to quickly come down and pop that in here. NORTA. That gives us our distance to NORDA. Currently 152 nautical miles. And if we come over to our performance, we'll go current altitude. We want to be at 18,000 feet. So 63 miles out, we have to start our descent. So about 90 miles to go. So let's pull up Navigraph. We can take a look. So here we are right now. We're coming up to the CMP VOR. Then we've got the straight run down here to Nober, which is the start point of the star that we're going to be flying into. And if we look at the star, which we're on the NORDA 3 Charlie, we're going to come in via Nober. And then we're going to come down to NORDA, which is here. That's where we got to be at under flight level 180. And we're going to come down and we're going to make this square box here and then turn back to the north. The airport's down here. And from here we're going to do vectors around for the ILS for runway 19 left. And we'll be coming in at Lemos and then in on the runway. And we will be good to go. We can start entering in some of the stuff we're going to need here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our RadNav page. We're going to confirm 110.5, which is correct. We're also going to tune in the SVB VOR. Now we're not going to bother putting a course on there because it is not aligned with the runway we're going in on. So it's going to be a little bit offset, which is not that big a deal. But it will give us kind of a bearing out to the runway anyway as a secondary. You haven't flown into Budapest for a while. Okay, so now that that's in there, we're going to go for our weather now. We'll get an updated weather for Bangkok. Back over. And we will wait for the new message to come in. Nostalgia. Alright, let's print that off. Come over here and grab it out of the printer, and then we'll take a look. Let's see what we're facing weather-wise. Still no ATC up, and there's still nobody in the area. So, should be a pretty quiet arrival. So, VTBS. 16 minutes ago, weather 260 at 3, so arriving on 19er is fine. Few clouds at 2,000, temperatures 29 degrees. Again, it's like there's still 7 hours, so it's like 6 in the morning, 29 degrees. Unreal. And 1006 on the link, so get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. So let's head over to our performance. So Q&H. Okay, Eastbirds, thanks for dropping in anyway. You have a good night. 1006. 29 will be our temp and our winds. 260 at 3. Almost like inconsequential. Transition altitude for this airport is 11,000 feet. Get that dialed in. to ILS, be 105 feet. Looks like the airport elevation is 5 feet. So that is fine. So all our information for the arrival is now entered in. Go back over there. And command will dial this to 1006. That is correct. And we'll just quickly do that. There we go. Just so that it's ready for us when we get there. 63 miles, and we are currently at 112. So we've got about 60 miles to go before we start our descent. And again, the first altitude we're going to want is 18,000 feet and 280 knots. So we're going to descend at 270, which is what I usually do. Dial 18 in. And we're almost at 270 anyway, so I'll just go into speed mode now and just dial it up to 270 so that everything is all set. So I think this is about the furthest west we're going to go if I remember the routing right. I think from here we start curving back around, come down through Indonesia and over to Australia. See the sun now coming up. It's the benefits of the first flight of the day. Not quite seeing the sunrise, but at least poking above the horizon. Get a great view of it out the window as we come in. Still got the lightning going. I wish they'd fix that. It does kind of break the immersion a little bit. Yeah, the North of 3 Charlie. Via Nober. Required a little bit of editing in the MCDU. It wanted us to go to Albos. It wouldn't accept Nober, but it went like Albos, then Nober, then down. So I just deleted Albos, which it accepted because it's actually not quite the entry point into the star. Norda is, so it all worked out. It does look. Yeah, we are chasing the sun. I'm doing the series at this time because I wanted like these sunrise morning flights. But we've pushed a little bit further west now that we've left like Japan and Hong Kong and that type of stuff. So we're now landing at sunrise instead of taking off at sunrise. But like I was saying, I think we're going to arc around now and head back eastward. So we should be getting sunrise flights again. So the sun should just be poking up as we take off. But this looks nice. I mean, I'd love being on a flight like this, although 4 o'clock in the morning for a flight is very early. So have you guys been watching the news coming out about PMDG and stuff? They're looking at probably having their 737 out by the end of the year. And next month, in June, having the DC-6, which I am so looking forward to. That would be a cool airplane to have. Again, I've got working on plans for that one and what I can do with it. I think it could be a lot of fun. So the star is up. It's looking nice. So what are we down to? About 20 miles to go before we start our descent. Uneventful flight. Again, we're pretty much by ourselves in this part of the world at the moment. No one really up on VATSim. And again, you can see our frequency has changed. And don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm sure it's something to do with vPilot. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's big, slow, doesn't fly like an airliner at all, like a big modern day airliner, which could be a lot of fun. PMPG has they've started a YouTube channel, which they haven't had before. They've started putting tutorials up on how it works, and I've seen some stuff from the prepared version of it from years ago. But just looking at my fuel. It's weird. We'll be fine. I'm not worried. We got plenty of fuel. We're gonna be descending soon anyway. But yeah, it's basically you're cruising at about 180, 190, and maybe up in the high teens, very low 20s for your altitude. Big rumbling 4-engine prop. Not even a turboprop, just a big round radial engine beast. Alright, so we're going to start down now. I'm going to go down at 1900 feet per minute, and we will hold 270. Bangkok area traffic, Skyways 5556, leaving flight level 380 for the NORTAC 3 Charlie arrival. Yeah, the 737 will be cool. The virtual airline I fly for, the North American subsidiary, flies the Boeing products, 757, 737. In North America, so that'll be cool. I might pick that one up as well. Definitely going to be picking up the DC-6. So many airplanes to learn, and the PMPG ones are going to be a little bit difficult because they are pretty advanced. Well, the sky's going to get a little bit darker now that we're going to be descending. There's an over coming up. So BS512, we want to be 16,000, and then the next one down after Irtis here will be BS508, and we're going to be at 11,000 for that. We're also going to be slowed down to 250 knots by that point. It's an hour and 10 minutes from pushback. Not too bad. If anyone hasn't seen this livery before, this is Topa Sky. It's our Australia, New Zealand subsidiary airline for Fly UK. Yeah, the CJ4, I don't know, private little business jets there. The working title guys that have been doing all the mods to it, they've done a really good job. I've seen some of their videos. Oh, they've got, you know, it's all working in there properly and stuff, so it's all starting to look pretty good. So it looks like we're ahead of schedule. Flight plan had us for still being 50 minutes out, but I think we're going to be arriving a little bit ahead of that. Considering we have no traffic in the way and we won't be holding, should be pretty good. It's nice with these external views when they're tagged to an internal camera. You get the view without the engines just thundering away in your ears. Which is nice when you're wearing a set of headphones. Well, I saw British AvGeek. He had the 787 mod, the latest one they were running, version 3 I think it is. And they had programmed holds. I don't know if it was the released one or if it was the testing one, but they had programmed holds in that one, which is pretty good. But I found, and some other people have commented as well, after 5 or 6 hours, I was really starting to get laggy, and apparently there's some stuff they have to optimize in it and get that fixed. So we're at Norber now. Oh, Nober. We're making a turn towards Norda. I think the next big airplane I'm going to start working on is the Salty's 747, because the 747 is also in the virtual airline, and if that can sustain, you know, some flights over several hours without getting too laggy, I may start using that as well. See how that goes. Heading south towards the coast and the town of Bangkok. I think we're getting a little bit more sun there coming up on the other side of the tail. If we hop in, go to the window. Oh, we might see it pop up by the time we hit the ground. By the time we land. Alright, how we doing? 27,000 feet. That at the moment. A little bit of weather in the area, but could do without all that extra lightning. So the flight time was an hour and 30 minutes. So you can deduct about 7 or 8 minutes for the taxi, so it'll take us down to an hour and 5, so 25 minutes. Yeah, it could be 25 minutes ahead of schedule by the time we're on the ground. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I still fly for Fly UK. This is one of their flights that I'm doing right now. This whole series is a tour they've got set up that is done. Same with my South America flights. That's a tour that they have set up there, so I'm flying that through there. I don't do any scheduled flights on their regular airline schedule at the moment, mainly because I'm doing these tours, and then some of my off stuff like the general aviation flying and the helicopters and stuff. But this is how I keep active in the airline, doing these tours. See, because the I think it says Fly UK back here somewhere. Yeah, there's Fly UK on the back door, or the back of the door. Okay, so Norda is the actual entry point into the arrival. 5,000 feet to go. Blinding bit of lightning there. So after Norda at 16,000 feet. In fact, we'll just dial that in now. That's a maximum we can, or minimum we have to be at, 16,000. Just dial that in, descend to it. 18,000 at Norda is the maximum. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are flight level 18, flight level 16. It should say above and below. Still not quite reading properly yet. Someday. It's 21,000 feet. Alright, we're getting down to the 20s, so everybody can start buckling up in the back. Seatbelts on. Make sure you fill in your customs declaration cards and immigration cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Nice smooth approach. I think that's the coast. You can see down there. Alright, well, we were a little high there on our estimate. That's fine, we got 3,000 to go. An extra 100 feet down there. See if we can make 16 by BS 512. And there are two airports here. I think there's an older one and a newer one. I believe we are going to the newer big one. The other one, we have been into the other one as well on a different flight. I think that was the older airport. It's at Don Muang International. Can't remember the identifiers for that. There's VTBS and I think it's VTBD. If I remember right. 16,000 coming up. Just watching our waypoints. So we're heading over to here. We have to be at 250 knots when we get there. So we're at 250. So we started slowing down. So many places in the world to travel. Hopefully someday we can get back to doing it for real instead of virtually. When did I start flight simming? I started flight simming back when home computers started, really. The first flight sim I ever played was on an Atari 2600 in the early mid-80s. And I've flown all the Microsoft flight simulators, right from the first one all the way up to this one. You know, did it for fun, and you know, because I've always been interested in flying and airplanes, and it looks like there's rain down there, right? That's just clouds. Been interested in flying and everything like that, but I also used it when I was learning how to fly for real. I used it to train on certain things. where are you going on me? You're now doing your own thing. You are, so I'm going to switch over and go the proper way here. So yeah, when I was flying Cessnas and stuff, I would use it for flying to airports when I was doing my cross country, so I could learn the lay of the ground and how it looked. And I'd do other stuff like that, radio navigation, how to use VORs and MDBs, and how to track them inbound and outbound and all that type of stuff. So it kept me pretty busy, and I think it gave me a bit of an advantage that when I showed up for my lessons, I'd already done it in the sim and had some knowledge. Getting down to 11,000 feet. Next one's 9,220 knots. Yeah, we should be coming in. This has us going in this kind of direct in. That's not the approach we're on. That's fine. Thousands coming up. There's the airport ahead of us. We're not going all the way down. We're going to come down and then make a left turn and then come back up and then around and then in. I used to. I flew for 14 years. I lost my medical. It's a very exact and complicated process, and I could have kept it, but it would have cost me far too much money with the stuff they wanted me to do for that. So I just said I wasn't going to do it. Plus, it's very expensive to fly. But yeah, I flew for 14 years and a lot of single-engine GA stuff, and I flew for a museum, some old World War I biplanes and stuff like that for a number of years. So it was an interesting little career, or not a career. I was never paid for it, but hobby, we'll say. Let's get the speed back, the altitude down. Not sure, 15,000. 15,000 will do it. Riding down to 9,000 feet, 220 knots.
We have begun our final descent into Bangkok. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
So our platform altitude is going to be 3,500 feet. See how that goes. So we're down under 10,000, so let's get the landing systems on. Landing lights. The taxi lights on. We'll get the runway turn-offs on as well. Put VOR 1 on. It's kind of pointing off to where that VOR is. The other airport, let's see if we can find it. Now that might actually be the other airport. I think the one we want is further over. And this is the older one. Yeah, we're gonna come down around and then do this box pattern. I think the one we want's over there. Alright, so we're almost down to our turn point. So our scheduled arrival is in 34 minutes. See that sun pop up just as we land. Ooh, beautiful colors in the sky too. Alright, so let's get you tailed over. Alright. I'm going to turn on to heading 106. And we're going to descend to 6,000 feet. Turn this thing faster. Come on. Need those little hesitations there. Get you down to 6,000. We'll activate our approach phase since we're all in kind of managed mode anyway. That's where we're going to end up, Lemnos. Just want to manage with the speed back to 210. The speed brake's out on half. It's helping us get down. See, it's found the ILS already. Alright, so over to 15 degrees. Around. Alright, now we're going to be squaring up, kind of turning this into a right-hand pattern. There we are, 6,000 feet. Speed brakes. Alright, we're now under vectors. So I'm gonna let Lemnos get past us slightly, and then we're gonna do a big right turn around and go in for the ILS capture. We're also going to start our descent down to 3,500. Definitely going to pull the speed brakes out. We don't want to be speeding up here. So it's runway 190, she's on a 195, so we want to be at about a 165 for the intercept. So So around we go. So get this over nice and quickly. Should get us lined up nicely. A little bit too much. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit too much. Don't want to be going that far down towards the airport. Turn in a little bit more as we get closer. It's 3,500, so speed brakes are coming in. They're now armed. Auto brakes low. Landing lights are on, taxi lights are on, seatbelt signs are on. All lights are on in the back. Bit more of a turn here to 150. Should start picking up the ILS shortly. It's not that far away. Ah, QNH, yes, thank you. There's the airport. Next altitude is 250 and then 2,000. Should get the actual intercept. So we're gonna go flaps 1. Thanks for that, Oki. Much appreciated. Good to have an FO keeping an eye on things as well. So hopefully Lindsay will get the ILS up and we can turn on the localizer. That's me banging the throttles. We got the localizer up. So localizer on.
2,500.
Get us lined up. $2,000 is the next one we're going to want. So we rocking around the sky here. That's apparently something that when the LNAV system gets sorted out for the next big release for the fly-by-wire, that will be fixed and it won't do things like that. Which will be great. And there's the glide slope. Approach mode is active. Bangkok area traffic, Skyways 5556 established on the localizer runway 19er left. at 14 miles. Alright, so landing gear is fine, flaps fine, cabin check. Yep, we'll ding the cabin.
Cabin courtesy for landing.
Alright, so it's gear and flaps. We're 13 miles. Yep. Keep the speed up here. Looking very nice. You can see the coastline there. There's Bangkok itself coming up, I believe. At least part of Bangkok, anyway. Miles. Eight miles, we'll go to flaps 2 and drop the gear. 6 miles, flap 3. 4 miles, flaps full. Glide slope captured. And we're on the slope. That's twice now. Alright. Second autopilot is now engaged. Flaps 2. I know I'm over speeding. You'll slow down. And let's go to this view. Drop the gear. There we go.
1,000.
Speed's coming back. Still getting used to this throttle quadrant. I move my hand away from the flap lever and I just gently tap the throttles, and man, everything goes nuts. Okay, flaps full. Coming 500. Down 500 feet. Should be down to VAP by the time we get down. Hey, there's the sun.
300.
We did see it today.
$200. 100 above. 100. Minimum.
Landing.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Reverse is on. Under knots, reverser's green. Auto brakes on. Knots, reverser's off. 40 knots, auto brakes off. Now we're going to take the high speed here. We'll be taxiing back to our gate.
Welcome to Bangkok. The local time is 5:58 a.m. and it's currently about 29 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final
Taxiway
destination,
Bravo.
we thank you for flying with us and we hope to see you again soon.
Bangkok area traffic, Skyways 5556 is clear, runway 19 left. Not that there's anyone here to hear it, but it's keeping up good form. Alright, speed brakes are down, flaps coming up. Throttles are at idle. Do the aircraft cleanup now. Weather radar's off, PWS is off, transponder is off, TCAS is off, and landing lights are off, turn off lights are off. Start the APU. Let's watch our speed here. So it'd be nice if we had another aircraft here, because I know Dark Fury said he saw the TCAS working it with VATSim. I've seen it working now with the real-time traffic, so it would be nice to just confirm that in VATSim. Yeah, 229 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. Or 29 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. That is something else. So there's our gates. We're not too far. We're on Concourse Charlie. There's the sun peeking up over the horizon. I'm sure it's going to be as humid as hell here. We're going to go on to Gulf. And into the apron. And over to the gate. There we are, beautiful day here in Bangkok. Yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, some of the series I do where I'm not on VATSim, I'm putting on the real-time traffic just to get other aircraft in there. Not the AI traffic, but simulating the real flights. And I wish there was more of it, but at least it gets some other aircraft up and running. Alright, so we're going to go in here. Beautiful morning here. And yeah, I know I left the taxi light on. Can't turn it off from out here. I want to make sure we're on the line. There we go. Kill the parking brake. Jump back inside. Kill the taxi light. Oh, left the strobe lights on as well. We have external power. So shut off the APU. External power is now on. So parking brake is set. All the nav stuff will come off. Flight director's off. FCU has reset itself. Auto thrust off. broadcast and ND's displays. Anti-ice is off. External power is on. Engines are off. And logbook is closed. Fuel pumps are now off. Engines are wound down. The beacon can come off. We'll leave the nav and logo lights on. Seatbelt signs are off, and we get the jetway over. There we go. And there she comes. And once again, open up the cockpit door. Oop, that way. And Roger can go say goodbye. Well, here we are, guys. Safely into Bangkok. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And we will see you on the next flight in the series next Monday. Take care. Bye for now.